Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is excellent to have you here. I believe I have officially hit the point of delirium again. I don't know, it seems like with a lot of people, just kind of energies have been off a little bit, making it kind of difficult to really rest and sleep and such. And I mean, honestly, here in Colorado, I would attribute some of that to the fluctuation in weather, which, I mean, we usually go through during like spring, you know, any transition type of season, you know, but lately, especially in Colorado, it's like we've been through the springtime at least 3 times now. So weather patterns have been a little bit wonky, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not complaining. As you can see, it's actually a rather beautiful day today. Not too hot, not too cold, and so I figured I'd pop by and say hi and talk to you guys about something that happened this weekend. So I had somebody ask me out, and you guys are gonna come with me to pick up trash because yeah. But because I am at work right at the moment. But so I had this guy ask me out, you know, and I told him, yeah, we could hang out, you know, type of thing. And it kind of brought me to the point of how to spot a narcissist. Because, well, turns out he was one, is one. He's still alive. I mean, not that bad, but there were a few red flags that kind of came up, and a lot of it just kind of boils down to the point of, you know, trust your gut, no matter, you know, that's the best part. If something feels off, trust that, you know. I mean, even if it actually isn't anything, even if it's one of those that, you know, it's you and not them, which I've encountered many a time, you know, it's me, not them. But you got to trust your gut in knowing like what you're ready for as well, because if you try to force a connection, it's going to end disastrously, you know. And it's usually not worth it. So best bet is just, if something's feeling off, set your boundaries. I mean, immediately. Just say, you can, even if it's just a caution, you know, say, you know, I'm not really feeling that good. It just, something seems a little bit off. You know, your feelings are your feelings, and they are not up for debate, you know. Which is actually honestly one of the ways that you can spot a narcissist. If you declare your feelings and how you are feeling, and instead of maybe asking you why, they start arguing with you, or try to demean you, or you know, just little phrases like, oh, you're just crazy, or something like that, and they're not really joking, and you can kind of feel that about it. It's just like, you know, that is one of the best ways to spot a narcissist, if they argue with you about your feelings. And that was one of the things that this person did, you know. Another one was like just diminishing or shooting down your ideas without a specific like reason, or you know, like without a specific reason or even any real consideration. I mean, one of the things that I brought up was, you know, well, maybe, and I don't, it was about one of his exes, and I was like, well, maybe, and he was like, no, it's just, and I was just like, okay, no, dude. Or when I was trying to explain to him why I wasn't quite feeling this, it was, no. I was like, oh, I'm not arguing with you about the way I'm feeling, okay? I'm feeling like this. That is just the way I'm feeling. And honestly, arguing with me is not going to change that. What was one of the other ones? I wrote down a couple of notes. One of the quickest ways to spot a narcissist is everything has to happen right now. I call it con man urgency. So it's one of those, don't think about it, don't consider it, just say yes, just do, or just say no, that's not fair, and that's not right. And now the reason they usually do that is because they don't want to give you time to confer with your gut or your internal senses and such. That's one of the things, is that narcissists can usually spot an empath, and because they want that people pleaser type of mentality, because they want to be served. They want to, they want somebody essentially to worship them. Which brings me up to another point of, a lot of times they won't see you as an actual person. So if they kind of half joke about like objectifying you, like, well, I'm gonna buy you, or I'll just pay for you type of thing, or you'll owe me one, and stuff like that. A lot of times that's only part, that's not a joke to them. They actually do mean it. And yet another thing that this guy did, he was joking about, well, I'll just tell, coming to my work and saying, well, I'm just tell the owner that I'm interested in purchasing you. I'm like, yeah, no, red flag right there, red flag. One of the other things, like I said, of course, when he asked me out, he bugged me until I said yes, type of thing. That's con man urgency. Don't think about it. Don't just say yes. Just say yes. No, you deserve time to think about this, because your time is valuable. And it's valuable to people who actually value it. So, considering your schedule and, time that you would like to take, even if it's just for yourself, just some alone time, take it, Don't let anybody try to diminish that time that you are spending healing and working on yourself and things like that. That is valuable. Don't try to tell anybody else, well, what else have you got to do? Actually, even when you're not doing anything, that people can outwardly see, you are doing something. You are working on yourself. You are healing. Just by resting, relaxing, you are healing your body. And that is very valuable, especially to you, and especially to the people who actually do care about you. Rest and rejuvenation is definitely a good thing. But keep in mind, when they try to diminish your time or even your presence, if it's so invaluable, why do they want it so badly? Unfortunately, that does lead up to problems in the future that I've seen before, that they get to the point, it starts out small, but it builds up to the point where they start thinking, well, or they start out as, well, oh, I love you so much, I love you, this, you're so wonderful, you're so great, and all of this other stuff. And then over a period of time, it diminishes. And it starts, well, nobody else is going to love you, so you better stay with me, is what it usually ends up being. Another good way to start or to spot them is the frequent uses of absolutes. Things like no one, everyone, generalizations like all women, all men, all people like this, all, they categorize, they will put into, and all of them act the same way, whomever, the green, purple people all act the same way, and I've never met anybody different, and things like that. That's another good way to spot a narcissist. Another thing is, put my notes down. If they want to change anything about your physical appearance, and like this person told me, wear my hair down. That doesn't go off. That does not fit me very well. I don't like being told what to do. Now, if they would have asked, could you wear your hair down? I would really like to see it down, or something to that effect. Things would have worked out a lot different, Now, I'm not a big fan of absolutes anyway, just because you never know. That's about the only absolute that I'm fully in favor of, is you never know. Because things will come out in life that will completely broadside you. So pretty much the only absolutes that you can trust in life are death and change. But it's one of those that, oh gosh, I was gonna, so absolute, they were sitting there talking about, and I was trying to tell them the reasons why I just wanted him to take me home. And I was just like, he goes, well, that's the fastest I've ever been, dumped. And I'm sitting there going, I don't know about that. But I was trying to explain to him, and I go, and he cut me off. And I go, now you see what you did just there? You just cut me off, and didn't let me, finish explaining. And he goes, yeah, I know, I've got a problem with that. And he goes, but I only cut them off because I always know what they're thinking. I'm like, okay, so that's two things. He devalued my time, like the time I was actually taking to explain things to him and my feelings, and devalued my feelings and used an absolute. I'm like, yeah, no, you can take me home now, and these things, like, individually, sometimes can be quirks, sometimes can be, just habits that people get into. Don't get me wrong. But when they exhibit all of these things, that's when you kind of got to watch out. And that's when you really got to confer with your gut and make a judgment call. Is this something that you're willing to put up with? And that brings me to, like, a friend of mine. Actually, a couple of people that I've experienced or had experiences with, and that's, they believe that they can change that person, that they won't be as bad with them per se, as they might have been with, like, their exes or something like that. okay, that's hardly ever the case in my experience, but, as I just said, I guess you never know. Maybe if it's worth it to you to give it a shot, go for it. This guy, I just met him, and already he was exhibiting all of these red flags, and honestly, I've got too much invested in myself to chance losing myself again. And so I just told him, you know what, I can't do this. Just take me home. And poor guy, that was, 15 minutes into this hangout. I didn't even really consider it a date, but he did. So it was kind of, yeah. The other thing is no true accountability. Things have a tendency of happening to them, not because of them, not because of anything that they did. It's usually everybody else's fault. They don't take any accountability for their actions, for the things that they say, and if they do, it's a superficial and insincere sorry. Sometimes, it can be a sincere sorry, but usually they apologize and then pretend like it never happened, thus repeating the same actions over and over and over again. One of the things that I asked this guy was, did you ask them? Because he was sitting there talking about, I don't know why this happened. I don't know why this happened. And I was like, well, why did it happen? Did they say? And he was just like, no. And I go, did you ask them? And he goes, no, but because I already know what they're going to say. Okay. That is a huge pet peeve to me. Do not presume to know what I'm thinking or feeling or anything like that. I know I'm a very complex being, and hell, a lot of times I don't even know what I'm thinking or feeling or something like that. So don't tell me what I'm thinking or feeling, and don't presume to know what I'm thinking or feeling. That really irritates me because, no matter how well you know a person, you never truly know what they're thinking or feeling. See? Never know. Again, never know. Because people change, things change, minds change, experiences change us. We're not the same person that we were even 5 minutes ago. So, I just let the people around you surprise you. Let them be curious about them. Be curious about their mindset or the way things work in their hearts. That way, not only are you learning something about them, but sometimes they learn about themselves as well. So, be curious, ask questions, and ask questions of yourself even. Just like being curious about everybody else, be curious about yourself. Take some time, enjoy yourself, because your time is valuable. You are valuable just by being here. And, like I said, if you encounter those narcissists and such, set your boundaries. You don't deserve to be treated like that. You are not here to serve anyone else. You are here to be yourself and be good with you So, and people who truly value you will understand that, and they will celebrate your successes with you. If they don't, then they need to work on some stuff within themselves as well. So if you can think of another way to spot a narcissist, I would be more than happy to hear you out and maybe even put it in the next video. So shoot me a comment, like, subscribe, and take some time to celebrate yourself. You do deserve it.